Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Almost Normal. I'm on day 2 of my period, day 2, and I have been on the pill since I was about 16 years old, and for the past 2 months has been the first ever time I've ever been off of it. Just raw dogging life, experiencing a natural cycle, and it has been very interesting. Very, very interesting. But something very interesting that I've noticed about it is when I'm in that sort of deep, bloody phase of it, I do this thing where I will start to resurface old conversations, old interactions I have had with the opposite sex, and I will start to think about all of the brilliant stuff that I should have said in the moment that I just didn't think of at the time. You know, it's just like when you have a disagreement with someone and then you walk away and get on the subway and suddenly you're like, oh my god, I should have said this, and this. I would have destroyed the argument and like walked away a winner, but I didn't think of the stuff at the time. And I have noticed the 2 periods I have had, I have done this both times, both different scenarios, you know, things that I didn't even really remember or think of before will just pop back into my head, and suddenly I'll be like, oh my god, and I'll be raging. And, you know, it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of like the feminine rage version of when you're feeling really sad, you're feeling a little depressed, and you're like, you know what's gonna make me feel so much worse right now is if I go sit on this balcony, light up a cigarette, and listen to the Smiths. Like, that is going to send me into obliteration, but somehow it like cures a little something inside, okay? And so I feel like this is my body doing that. It's giving my feminine rage a full release. It's like, oh hey Rita, do you remember this one time this guy said that thing to you and you didn't say anything? Like, what would you say now? What would you say now? And I'm like, oh god. Yesterday it started again, and I was like, oh my god. Yesterday the particular scenario was this. About 2 months ago, I was in my last class, or my second to last class, in a sort of art critique class I had. And the week before, we were told to go and see this female artist's show. And this is quite a well-known artist. And just to start by saying, any woman that has fucking made it so high up in an extremely male-dominated industry and world, kudos to them. You can literally shit on your hands and smear it across a canvas, and I will applaud that. I will be like, hell yeah, you fucking did that, girl. You did that. Like, unless she is showing, like, hate crimes, I'll applaud it. It's just what you have to do. It's just what you have to do. Like, she fucking made it there. However way she did it, she fucking made it there. And I applaud her. Okay, so anyway, we went to go see her show in a huge gallery. Like, one of the biggest galleries, alright? A solo show. And I was like, fuck yeah, girl. Like, you made this. You made this happen. Congratulations. Like, you're showing women that it can be done in this world. Like, I love you. And so I stepped into this show, and the first thing that I saw was a lot of female nudes. And my initial reaction was like, this girl didn't just fucking make it, but she just brought all of us with her. She was like, I'm bringing all of my women here. I'm going to so femininely dominate this male space, and I'm just gonna put titties all over the place. Fuck you. Alright? And I was like, yes. Okay? Yes. It's great. Now, in this particular show, and she typically represents the female nude in her work. This particular show, she kind of decided, and I'm sure she thought about it a lot, but I'm going to get into why I said that in a second. I'm sure she knew what she was doing. She decided to represent a type of body that has been extremely hypersexualized in today's society, obviously by men. Like, women did not start sexualizing and objectifying their own bodies, okay? Men did that. And so she sort of, in most of the pieces, had a woman with that particular body type bigger boobs, a littler waist, bigger hips. And in my opinion, when I saw this work, it was not her objectifying women's bodies, but it was her reclaiming the female nude in any way she felt fit. And I think that it's interesting, first of all, because this type of body exists in the world. And it was men that decided that this was a hypersexualized version of a woman's body. And so I think that a lot of thought went into that and was like, hey, I'm not a man, I'm a woman, and I'm going to represent this body because I'm sick and tired of seeing you guys do it. Like, in my opinion, that was her thought process, and I don't think I'm far from the truth. So the next week, we go back into class and we start talking about the work, and I'm about to just be like, oh my god, it was the best thing ever. And someone else interjects, a man. Sorry. Someone else interjects, okay? And he starts off by saying that he found this series of work offensive. Okay, he said that he found it offensive to women. He felt like this woman was objectifying and sexualizing the female nude. And his arguments, in his opinion, were it was, in his opinion, he was defending the honor of women, okay? In his opinion, he was saying, I know what's best, okay? I'm gonna defend you ladies and say, I think that this woman is in the wrong, and I'm on your side. Red flag number one. Red flag number two. The sexualization, objectification of women was created by men. That whole idea was created by men. And for anyone who doesn't understand specifically what that means, to objectify a woman's body, to sexualize a woman's body in that way, is to say that the woman's naked figure, the woman, the female figure, is there to cater to men. It is there to pleasure men. We are no longer autonomous creatures. We are objects, objectification. Okay, so he was saying that this female artist has taken the female form and is objectifying women. And again, objectifying women means that it is made for the male pleasure. So I think it's extremely interesting that this man walked into this extremely feminine space at the time. Well, it was a very male space, but she had feminized it in such a great way, in my opinion. I think it's really interesting that he walked into that space and the first thing that he thought about was like, how can I make this about me? How can I make this about men? All right. How can I make this work speak to me? And the way he did that was by saying that this female artist took female bodies and is doing it for his pleasure. To say that she is objectifying women's bodies is to say that she has taken these women's bodies and her goal was to pleasure men. It is just so interesting that that was the initial thought that he had when he walked in. How can I make this about men? How can I make this about me? It's clear that he didn't think that she thought this series of work through. He's like, oh my god, she's objectifying women. She's sexualizing women. I caught her out. I caught her out red-handed. It's like, babe, don't worry. She's got a brain. Like, I'm pretty sure she thought about it. I'm pretty sure that was the whole fucking point. Okay? I'm pretty sure that was the whole point. She's reclaiming the female figure. Like, that was the whole point. She thought about it. Don't worry. That, like, big, obvious elephant in the room did not just, like, pass her by. She thought about it. I think it's the word offended that I'm getting stuck on. It's the word offended that I'm confused by. Has a woman's areola ever fucking drop kicked you in the pub before? Has a woman's breast ever walked down the street and as it passed you said, fuck yourself? Has that happened? Okay, I don't think so. So when you say you're offended by it, what does that even mean? Are you seeing a nude female body being represented by another female? And are you like, clutching your pearls like, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing. What am I seeing right now? I am so offended. Like, no, okay? No, that's not what's happening. What's happening is this. What's happening is the more you demonize something, the more you make something seem sinful, the more you can police it, the more you can control it. And what's going on is when women are able to represent themselves, that control is less available to you, okay? So you're not offended by it. You're not offended. It's the fear that the control is leaving you, okay? Women are reclaiming the body. Women are reclaiming the body and they're presenting them as they wish to present them, and you can't handle it. So what you are experiencing is not being offended. It's being scared. It's being confused because you are unable to control the narrative any further. That's what's going on. The nude body shouldn't be offensive to you. And if it is offensive to you, that's just a whole other problem that you probably have to deal with, I'm afraid. Why is it offensive? It's just a body, okay? We need it to live. We need it to survive. We need it. It is not an inherently sexual thing. It just isn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say. And I also think it's interesting that if she had painted a bunch of male nudes, even if she had painted them with giant, giant dicks dragging across the floor, no one would even mention the sexualization of the male figure because that just doesn't exist in our society. To sexualize the male figure is just not even a thing. It's just not assumed because it just doesn't happen. But because it happens so much to women, it's always assumed. So, just saying that. And also, again, if a male artist painted a female nude, you wouldn't be offended by it because the control is still there. It's still the men giving the narrative of what a woman's body is for, what it should be used for, how it should be looked at. So you're not going to be offended by that. You'll be offended when a woman does it because she's taking back control and you don't really know how to handle that. So there's that. When people bring up the sexualization of women's bodies, everyone calls them dramatic. They're like, we're over that. Women have all the rights in the world. Let's not talk about it anymore. You're treated just the same as men now. Like, don't worry, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. You're being dramatic. Just let it go. It is so apparent in our world. It is so apparent. But what has happened is that it's just been so normalized that we just don't even think about it as much as we really should. But if we really, really lift up that carpet and look at all the grime underneath, there is a lot of shit that is still happening in order to control women's bodies. And the objectification and sexualization of women is not really even about turning men on, okay? It's about control. It's just about control. I think when people bring up the problem of objectifying women's bodies, men will be like, listen, ladies, you got all the rights that we got, okay? Everyone is equal. You are not being treated any differently to how a man is being treated. And I just think that this is so far from the truth that it is mind-boggling that anyone thinks that it is the truth. And the fact is, they need us to believe that it's the truth so that we just let it go and we don't sort of investigate a little bit more. So anyway, what's been happening is that it's just been so normalized that we have just accepted it. And every time we bring it up, someone's like, oh, another dramatic woman. Oh my God. She needs something else. What else does she need? Oh my God. So spoiled. It's crazy. It's just been so normalized in our society. That's it. Okay. I've written down a couple examples of things that are applied to women that seem normal. But if you flipped it on its head and applied it to men, people would be like, what the frick frack is going on? So I'm going to read a couple. Okay. Number 1. Male nipples on social media, or even just out in general, okay? If you were to take down a man's post for being topless on the beach, people would have an absolute riot. I actually remember, and this pissed me off this one time, I remember seeing this TikTok of a certain content creator, a man content creator who I do not vibe with, let's just say, and he posted a video while topless, which just wasn't mentioned once or even by his own mind. He posted a video of him topless, saying that he saw a video of a woman breastfeeding her child and he was so shocked that this was allowed on the internet and that his dick wasn't. While topless, he said this. While topless. So imagine we just censored men's nipples, okay? Let's just start there. I mean, the crazy thing about the nipples is that the same thing, the women and men, the thing that we have similar is the areola and the actual nipple, okay? That's the thing that we actually share. The thing that's different sometimes, and not even all the time, is the fact that women sometimes have a little bit more fatty tissue around the nipple. So you would think, if you had to censor women in some way, you would think that it would make sense to cover the fatty bit because that's the difference. But actually, no. What happens is we have to cover our nipples even though they look anatomically pretty much the same as the man's. That's the thing we have to cover, not the one thing that's slightly different, which is the fatty bit around the nipple. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, okay. Number 2 would be if teenage boys were sent home for their shorts being too short at school because they might distract girls. That'd be odd, wouldn't it? Number 3, male athletes forced to wear crop tops because they look better on the television. Number 4, men told to eat in bathroom stalls while feeding babies. Imagine that. Little boys in beauty pageants in heels and makeup. This had me dying, okay? Someone said little boys in Speedos and fake tans, like, doing this. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? But for some reason, baby girl pageants is just completely like, yeah, happens every day. I mean, those were the things that stuck out to me. I just did a couple. But literally, if you flip any of those on its head, like, it's insane. The world would just burn to the ground. Anyway, I feel like I have to finish this rant because I need to, like, do something else with my day. I'm getting too wild, and I'm afraid if I go out in public, I'm just gonna, you know, go to jail for some reason. Anyway. There's so much to talk about in this area, but I just sort of wanted to touch on it a little bit today because I was like, it's wild. It's wild. Just being in the art world for as long as I've been, I am just so... It's just so obvious what's going on. It's so obvious. The objectification and sexualization of women is deep within our roots, and it is just been so normalized that people can't deal with it if it changes. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm sure more on that to come. I'm sure I'll have more thoughts and have to run right back to this camera. But for now, I will leave you with that. I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening to me rant about men for however long I've been ranting on for. I love you guys. I love you. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do. It's super helpful to me. And yeah, I love you guys. I will see you next time. Hopefully I'll be less like this and more like this, but we'll see. It's only day 2. So yeah, I love you guys. I will see you very, very soon. Okay.